CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Waiting all winter for it, so we're super excited to be out here.
It is the kind of weather many of us have been waiting for: sunshine, warm temperatures, and plenty of reasons to get outside. Good evening. The calendar may still say spring, but across the region, temperatures are reading like the heart of summer, and it looks like many are taking advantage. In fact, let's head outside now to downtown Barrie. That's where our Luke Simard joins us live tonight. Luke, what can you tell us about the summer-like weather?
Well, Sarah, after a weekend full of rain, many were outside not letting the sun slip away. And while some were enjoying the heat, farmers were hard at work finally hitting the fields. As the sun comes out, downtown Barrie begins to come alive.
And just walking down here with our granddaughter, it's lovely.
It's great to be here with the family and enjoying the sun and the sand and, playing with your kids. It's amazing.
It's amazing. The best part is that it's supposed to be around for a bit, and which is nice.
Taking full advantage of the sun, with experts saying it's going to stick around
in the future. Well, we see it being really warm. We actually believe that eventually, Luke, the sun wins out. The days are longer. We have now almost twice as many daylight hours than we have nighttime hours.
The dry, warm weather needed after a wet, difficult spring.
There's never a straight line between winter and summer. There's always this up and down, back and forth. And this year, it's been really on the downside.
The weather has not been ideal for farmers who are now just starting to hit the fields for seeding.
The rain's making the soil conditions not perfect for planting, and we only get one chance to plant a crop, so we like to make sure everything's in good shape when we do it.
Potentially having to pivot if they are unable to seed in time.
A crop like oats typically do better when they're in earlier, and we haven't been able to get it planted because of the wet weather.
The delay causing some concern.
We need to grow, the most yield we can, and so when we get delayed and things aren't perfect for planting a crop, it does cause some anxiety, because our opportunities for breaking even is going to be tough this year.
Back live in downtown Barrie, and for those looking to enjoy the splash pads with their children, well, you might just have to wait a little bit, as Heritage Park and Lantman Lane Park splash pads remain closed for repairs. Sarah?
No splashing around for you. Thanks. That's our Luke Simard reporting live tonight. We'll have a full look at the forecast a little later in the show. A 21-year-old Barrie man is facing impaired driving charges after police found him asleep behind the wheel in a fast food parking lot.
Morning, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, yourself?
You passed out there really bad, eh?
Yeah.
How long have you been passed out?
Police say officers were called to the Bayfield Street area on Sunday morning after reports of a vehicle idling for more than 2 hours. When officers arrived, they found the man slumped over in the driver's seat with the vehicle still running. He later registered nearly twice the legal alcohol limit and is now facing multiple charges. Police are searching for a vehicle involved in a failed-to-remain collision with a cyclist in Ottawa. OPP say the crash happened this morning on Concession 10 near side roads 30 and 31. That's where a black pickup truck allegedly struck a cyclist and then left the scene. The person was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information has to contact police. Meanwhile, a motorcyclist is in hospital after a collision in Vaughan. That happened just after 2 p.m. in the area of Keele and Langstaff Road. The motorcyclist was transported with serious injuries, while the driver of an SUV had minor injuries. The cause of that crash is still under investigation. Thousands of community and social service agency workers in the province are still on strike today. Staff at Kinark Child and Family Services in Barrie are among those who are on the picket line. The Ontario Public Service Employees Union says the job action is part of a campaign meant to highlight what it calls chronic underfunding and staffing shortages.
We are on the line right now because we have been bargaining for the past year. We're trying to get more money from our employer as we do hard work for our clients. We're also trying to get better benefits and just more respect from our employer.
Workers are also seeking retroactive pay for wage increases that were capped by a provincial bill that was later repealed after being deemed unconstitutional. Gas, food, travel, it seems the price of everything is going up. And if that has you rethinking your usual summer plans, you are not alone. A new survey by TD suggests that rising costs are throwing a wrench into the works for many Canadians. To break that down, we've got CTV's Jack Moore standing by. Jack.
Well, Sarah, according to the answers to the questionnaire, a full third of Canadians are looking to spend less money this summer, and that's chiefly being driven by rising costs of living. When you think of summer, you might think about a road trip with your friends, making your way up to the lake in cottage country, maybe taking out an ATV or spending the summer on the water in your boat. Maybe you're a camper who likes to spend the summer in the great outdoors. The one thing all these have in common? You've got to fill up before you go.
On a day-to-day basis, you're starting to see fuel costs, which is really eroding some of the savings that Canadians have, and really looking at people having to budget a little bit more for the additional cost of fuel.
And it doesn't look like it'll be getting cheaper anytime soon. Iran has blocked off the Strait of Hormuz, which a fifth of the world's oil flows through. And according to analysts, even if the war ended tomorrow, that wouldn't save the summer.
The reality is that we're dealing with a severe shortage of oil and petroleum products. It'll probably take 4 to 6 months before that's rectified and we get back to those prices we saw just before the war began.
Dan Mateg says the prices we've got right now are probably the best they're going to be this summer. With rising costs, tightening belts for many Canadians, trips and vacations are not top of mind.
Canadians are really redirecting their funds to everyday needs and long-term goals, which with nearly 2/3 say they're shifting savings to groceries, fuel, and housing, while others are focusing on longer-term stability, including paying down debt and building their savings.
And many people are planning and paying for trips today, not in 2 months. Well, the best piece of advice from TD, if you're still looking to do something this summer, is pick 1 or 2 things. That way you can keep doing something you enjoy while still saving a little bit of money. Sarah.
All right, thanks for that, Jack. Okay, it is 7 minutes past 6. Let's go ahead and take a live look at Highway 400 by Dunlop Street. Traffic is moving, let's see here, smoothly throughout the corridor. No major incidents reported at this time. A reminder, however, there will be ongoing overnight closures on Dunlop Street West near the Cedar Point area. That's for construction projects. Time now to say good evening to Casey Colby. So lovely to be back with you and the rest of the team. I'd like to take credit for the return of this beautiful weather.
Well, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't. Someone needs to take credit, and I'm wearing a black hat. And that means I'm the bad guy, right? Well, I'm the bad guy, but it's a good day, and it's a good day to be a bad guy because the bad guy has good news. Does that make any sense at all? I hope so. Let's take a first look at the forecast, and here we go. Brought to you by the good guys at thegraveldrivewayguy.com. Your local gravel driveway expert, Sarah. 28 gorgeous degrees out here. Oh, it's a light wind out of the west. A warm wind, 20 kilometers an hour. It's going to pick up as the evening progresses. Look at that temperature outside your door. 28 degrees in Toronto, 28 in Owen Sound. Only 20 degrees in Parry Sound, kind of cool. 26 in Gravenhurst, 31 degrees in the Sunshine City of Orillia, and 27 in Newmarket. As we speak, I might add, radar satellite images. Well, predominantly nothing but sunshine. I'm scanning the skies right now, and I don't see many clouds. I don't see any clouds, actually, at this point. And coming up, Sarah, in the not too distant future, we'll let you know if we can climb as far as temperatures go and where the clouds have went and when they shall return. And they will return. Trust me, they will.
You're very animated.
All that coming
this evening.
It's the hat. All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Back inside, Sarah.
Thanks, Case. A young calf is back with its herd after an unexpected road trip in Dufferin County. OPP say the calf fell out of a livestock trailer on Highway 10 in Mono after the back door came loose. The calf then rolled across the road but only had minor scrapes. Officers and Good Samaritans kept the calf calm until the farmer returned. Okay, now an update to a disturbing case out of Innisfil and serious charges against a man and woman accused of manslaughter and failing to provide the necessities of life after a 4-month-old baby died. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports on this tragic story.
Days after 31-year-old Anthony Fasulo was released from custody charged with manslaughter, 26-year-old Morgan Krause has also been granted bail. Krause is accused of failing to provide the necessities of life following the death of a 4-month-old baby 2 years ago in Innisfil. Fasulo, who was granted bail on a pledge of $6,000 Friday, is charged with manslaughter of the infant. He'll be under curfew and is ordered not to be alone with or in the position to care for a child. The charges against Fasulo and Krause come nearly 2 years after investigators with South Simcoe police were called to a home along Algonquin Avenue, November 8, 2024. Police confirmed the infant died 2 days later at Sick Kids in Toronto. Police said evidence gathered during the 18-month investigation led to charges being filed against Fasulo and Krause. Any evidence heard during the bail proceedings is protected by a publication ban. Krause was granted bail on a $4,000 promise to pay by a loved one who will act as her surety. Fasulo and Krause had been previously arrested by provincial police in Tottenham last January and faced a slew of charges, including possession of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. Those charges were either stayed or withdrawn by the Crown. Fasulo is scheduled to return to a virtual Bradford courtroom in June, Krause in August. The allegations against the accused have not been tested in court. Mike Arsledy, CTV News, Barrie.
We're learning that burnout is taking a big toll on Canadian workers. A new Manulife Canada Wellness report says productivity losses now add up to the equivalent of 46 working days per employee each year. The report finds fatigue, stress, and burnout are reducing focus and energy even as employees continue to show up for work. 80% say their job contributes to their mental state, and nearly 6 in 10 say mental health challenges impact their performance. Help is on the way for Canadian communities that are battling wildfires this season.
To lease 10 additional wildfire fighting aircraft that will support our provinces and our territories in their response, and that will be available beginning this wildfire season.
The 10 aircraft include 4 air tankers, 5 helicopters, a bird dog plane, and 2 support assets. The planes will be stationed across the country based on expected need. Now, instead of buying the aircrafts, Ottawa chose to lease so they could be used immediately with pilots already in place. The Canadian Coast Guard is training in our region, but the eventual mission far from here. Today, the Parry Sound base conducted one of their final major search and rescue exercises, and CTV's Mike Lang was there and brings us all the action.
After weeks of annual emergency preparedness training, Tuesday was one of the last big tests for Coast Guard search and rescue crews, which will be deployed to the Arctic.
This is sort of a culminating exercise that brings together both their ability to navigate, their ability to operate, and as well as some medical scenarios.
A total of 49 personnel from the Coast Guard, Canadian Air Force, Parry Sound Paramedics, and Joint Rescue Coordination Center Trenton teaming up and responding to simulated emergencies.
Can you give me an update on the status of the 4 people you have found, over?
In the water, they practiced situations that included navigating to other vessels for medical emergencies or supply sharing, searching for stranded victims, and onshore landings for island emergencies.
All of the experience that they're having is essentially live and in situ, as it would be in the case of a real search.
In the sky, the Bell Global Ranger and Griffin helicopters. SAR crews on board, coordinating with SAR crews on land and water, practicing patient triage by air.
It's important for us to get the practice in, get the reps in, really understand the severity of certain situations, and get working as a crew.
On the ground, paramedics standing by for patients brought to them by Coast Guard vessels.
We're a water-based township, and a lot of incidents happen out on the water, so the more familiar we are with each other in our operations, then the better we can deliver patient care.
With gusting winds and 2-degree water temperatures, the Coast Guard says spring conditions in the Parry Sound are similar to summer conditions in the Arctic.
The opportunity to come and train in Ontario in the spring is very, very valuable for the crews.
The SAR crews here today will get deployed to the Arctic in late June, where they'll be stationed at the Rankin Inlet Search and Rescue Base until late fall. Mike Lang, CTV News, Parry Sound.
Barrie is seeing a big boom in home construction this year. The city says housing starts are up 173% compared to the same time last year. More than 400 new housing starts were recorded by the end of April, already more than half of last year's total. City officials credit new council programs aimed at speeding up development and increasing affordable housing. Canada's Privacy Commissioner, along with representatives from major tech companies, are testifying in Ottawa today about contentious new digital legislation. The proposed Bill C-22 would force tech giants like Apple and Google to update their systems to help law enforcement, including the spy agency CSIS, in accessing digital evidence and investigations. The federal Liberals say the system needs to keep up with increasingly advanced criminals, but critics say the changes would present data collection and civil liberty concerns. Well, a hot topic in the House of Commons this week, the findings of a recent W5 investigation. It includes revelations that security gaps at Canada's major airports are allowing illegal drugs to flow into our country. CTV's Ottawa Bureau Chief Graham Richardson reports.
It is a chilling, organized scheme uncovered by CTV's W5.
They opened up the bag. It was stuffed full of drugs.
Tags switched on checked bags, unwitting Canadians' luggage tags used to carry drugs in different bags, smuggled into the airport by corrupt employees.
You're all being detained for transporting narcotics.
The W5 investigation raised in the House of Commons Monday by the opposition.
I walk out through the terminal doors, nobody checks you. That's from a W5 investigation exposing organized crime using travelers' baggage to traffic drugs through Pearson Airport. Given the Transport Minister's silence on this brazen security failure, if the Liberals won't be taking this seriously now, why would Canadians believe they ever will with our security?
At least 6 arrests related to luggage tag swapping have been made by the RCMP. We continue to invest in law enforcement, Mr. Speaker.
This story has gone viral nationally and internationally, not only because of how many cases W5 uncovered, 17, but also because of the simple questions it raised. As passengers take off their shoes and belts and hand over water bottles at security, why aren't employees scrutinized?
We joke you could walk out carrying a cruise missile, end quote.
And it's not just Canada. These women from Brazil detained in Germany for over a month. Their bags were switched and caught on camera. They were blamed for carrying drugs. This video eventually freed them.
One of the most challenging parts about this is how vulnerable passengers are when they check their bags. Because of this investigation, many of them will now look much more closely when they arrive. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, Ontario's Solicitor General has tabled a wide-ranging spring justice package, which includes the banning of medically unnecessary procedures on animals. So coming up a little later in the newscast, we'll be speaking one-on-one with Legislative Affairs Counsel from Animal Justice about why advocacy groups have been pushing for the change and when we might see action. Ontario is teeing up support for the 2026 RBC Canadian Open. It's in Caledon. The province investing $1.5 million to help host the PGA Tour event at TPC Toronto at Osprey Valley. Organizers expect more than 130,000 fans to attend, generating more than $80 million in economic activity for Ontario. Would love to play that course. Meanwhile, Barrie is now accepting applications for its 2026 Recreation and Sport Community Grant. The city says there's no set limit on funding requests as it looks to expand access to local rec and sport programs. Nonprofits, community associations, and charitable organizations can apply for funding for new programs or capital projects within city limits. The deadline to apply is June 12th. And this summer, those that call Wasaga Beach home will have more places to park for free. The town announcing it is expanding the free resident parking program to include Beach Area 1 and 2. Those with a valid digital parking permit will now be able to park at those beachfront lots, in addition to New Wasaga and Allenwood Beach. Still to come here on CTV, fast cars, test tracks, and family fun, when students will take the wheel to bring a massive auto show back to Barrie for everyone to enjoy, plus putting your best foot forward to support those living with MS when you can join the movement along Barrie's waterfront. Stay with us. Those stories and more after the break.
Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors.
Music, it's a small community, so when something's really good, we all want to be part of it.
We have an amazing music scene here.
Having people come together in community, listen to some amazing local artists, brings the downtown alive. It brings our city alive.
Troubadour Festival 2026 is going to be off the hook. Road Amory's got the Watchmen, Bahamas. Going to be great.
Thanks for staying with us. The engines are getting ready to rev up in Barrie as the massive auto show returns to Georgian College this Friday. Driven entirely by students, the three-day event features more than 20 major car manufacturers, hands-on experiences, test drives, and more. And with this year's theme being Beyond the Wheels, there's a special emphasis on showcasing the future of mobility.
Essentially, it gives everyone who's at the Automotive Business School of Canada the chance to really take all of their classroom learning and apply it to the real world and really just gain those insights on the industry and make those connections that'll help them with their career.
The Georgian College Auto Show runs June 5th until the 7th at the Barrie campus, and of course it's open for everyone to attend. This Sunday, hundreds will be lacing up to get their steps in, walking along the waterfront in Barrie to raise awareness for multiple sclerosis. The annual MS Walk is happening at Heritage Park once again, where everyone of all ages are welcome to come together and support the more than 90,000 Canadians living with MS, and organizers say every step helps.
It's just very emotional to see that people still care. When I was diagnosed in 1997, there were 4 medications then available. And then now, if you're walking to raise money, know that when you're diagnosed, there's now 20 treatments available. And that's as a result of everything, all the walks we've done in previous years. We've just built on each walk from year to year. And now, when we talk to people, we're actually talking about preventing MS, and we're talking about fixing the damage.
And if you're not able to make it down to the waterfront, you can also participate virtually, walking from anywhere right across the country. It started with 2 friends and 1 cream ale. Now, 30 years later, Muskoka Brewery has grown into a nationally recognized brand. To celebrate the milestone, the Bracebridge Brewery is releasing a throwback pack featuring 6 of its original classics and hosting a party for customers to cheers to 3 decades of success.
We're evolving, I'd say, from a straight brewery to more of a beverage company. Ready-to-drink beverages, non-alcoholic beer. Those are some of our fastest growing brands and SKUs.
When people think about Muskoka Brewery, they think about the feeling of Muskoka and about being up at their cottages and connecting it with that moment on the dock, spending time with people they care about.
The Muskoka Brewery 30th anniversary party is on Saturday, June 6th at the brewery in Muskoka. If you are looking to stay on top of local events and more, perhaps you'd like to rewatch this newscast, that can be done on our website. There it is, ctvnews.ca/barrier. Scan that QR code on the screen. Still to come, what is the secret to a long life? It's an inspiring one and is helping a 101-year-old woman live her best life. That's coming up in just a few moments, but now to a man who's filled with secrets to a healthy life. Casey.
On the stage in 2020, Stuck With You was the #1 hit on the Billboard charts with Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber. And Stuck With You is what we hope is the good weather. We hope we're stuck with you. I'll have the answer coming up if that's true or not. And our Weather Watcher artiste will have a look right now because Liam says, I can't wait to play a little frisbee at Little Lake Park in Midland this summer. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, the Bounce Boarding Call continues.
Yes, it's your chance to win a $4,000 travel voucher and $1,000 spending money.
So tune in Monday to Friday, 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Ooh, I like this week's theme, everything spring sport. golf, soccer, maybe an early dip in the pool or Lake Simcoe? Snap a photo and send it to us. Picture this at ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Now, many were out and about today making the most of the warm weather, and that includes some furry friends. Our CTV camera caught this up-close shot of a little chipmunk savoring the sunshine with a perfect afternoon snack, stealing one peanut at a time. And if you're wondering how long the nice weather will last, Case, that's what I look like when I'm indulging in a really good meal.
Or a pickle.
Or I'm still trying to get through the 6 liters that Mike Lang got me for my birthday.
It's a lot of pickles.
Yeah, they're still lining my desk. Every guest that comes into the station is like, what's the deal with the pickles?
Want a pickle? Yes, absolutely. Well, pickles are lovely any time of year, we know that, and as is the sunshine, enjoying the sunshine, and it sure does feel good to be out here, short sleeves and shorts, and as we've enjoyed today, hopefully you've enjoyed today, the sunshine and warm weather, it does look like it's going to stick around for a little while. Let's get to it. A lot to unpack. Here we go as far as the forecast goes, and it's a gorgeous night, so I do hope you have a chance to get out and enjoy yourself. 28 degrees in Owen Sound. Looks like, well, we're enjoying 27 degrees right now in Barrie, Alliston, Newmarket, 29 in the Sunshine City of Orillia, 26 in Gravenhurst, and we're going to call it 26 degrees in beautiful Mount Forest, Ontario, 27 and 16. That's the high, that's the low today. As far as our temperature goes, normally, 21 and 8, so it's nice to be above for a little while anyway, hopefully longer in a little while. 31 degrees in 2020. How close did we come with the Humidex? About 30 degrees. Made it 30 degrees with the Humidex, but no records set, no new records. 15 hours, 11 minutes of daylight. Let's roll that forecast radar if you could, please. And a gorgeous evening. For this evening, what you're looking at right now when you see those green blips, that is anomalous propagandae, which is a weather term. False echoes is another way of saying it's effectively noise from the satellite, so it's nothing to be too concerned about. This is Southern Temperature Georgian Bay Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures 8, 12, 14 in Orillia. A few clouds, yeah, just a couple clouds, and the winds out of the west 30 to 50 km. Tomorrow, 21 to gorgeous degrees all around the Horn, and the winds, well, shifting to the northwest 20 to 40, and plenty of sunshine, which is always a pleasure to say. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 13, 14, 15 degrees under clear skies, and for tomorrow, the clear skies remain 24, 26. I'll bet with the Humidex we're kissing 30. I bet we are. Perry Sound, Huntsville, Gravenhurst, Bracebridge, Halliburton. They're changing their name. Gravenhurst. 10 degrees and clear skies for this evening. 22 for tomorrow. Sun and cloud. Nothing to trip on over that. Or is it? Yes. Do trip, do enjoy. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And it looks like this, and it's a bit of a trip because it's solid sunshine. That's what we're looking at. Solid sunshine during the daytime. There is a chance, a slight chance of an overnight shower throughout this forecast. However, it is very slight. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 21, 19, 20 degrees. Saturday, 18 and 19. A little bit of cloud cover on the Sunday. 5-day extended forecast, York Region. Have a look. Sunny skies Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 24, 22, 19. We'll take them all. And 20 degrees and fair skies. Bit of cloud cover on the Sunday. This is the 5-day extended forecast. Muskoka, Perry Sound, Halliburton. And slightly different where we're looking at Thursday, sunny skies and 20. And then Friday being a sun and cloud mix. There is a chance of a passing shower during Friday. 19, back into the sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. 18 and 19. This brings us to the end of May. What a way to go out. Little sunshine and welcome June, hopefully much the same way. Back inside, Sarah.
Thanks, Case. A little strength training can go a long way. According to a 101-year-old woman from Dorchester, she makes sure to attend fitness classes twice a week. CTV's Lauren Stallone brings us her story.
Barbara Clark is 101 years old.
I've always been active.
That's the secret.
When she's not gardening or playing the piano, Clark is here, exercising.
I think everybody should take exercises. I started a long time ago.
Clark says she played golf to keep fit in her earlier years. Her last game nearly a decade ago when she was 92.
It wasn't a very stellar game, believe me.
Now she's traded in her golf clubs for dumbbells and trains with other dedicated seniors twice a week at Chartwell Dorchester Terrace.
It gives them the ability to be more independent and to move and to have less assistance. They really notice a big difference here. They've all increased their weights.
The classes include a warm-up, strength training, balance exercises, and stretching.
It involves everything. I don't miss a muscle group.
Experts say strength training can improve balance, independence, and brain health for older patients.
Weightlifting can improve cognition, including executive function, which refers to our ability to think, plan, make decisions, our memory, and our attention. And this is true in healthy, preclinical and clinical older adult populations. And so sort of keeping sharp as we age is really important.
And for anyone who says they are too busy to exercise.
What do I say to them? Oh, I wouldn't like to tell you.
So Clark left me no option but to join in. And it turns out keeping up with a 101-year-old is harder than it looks.
It keeps me young.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
I used to do that with my grandmother. Still to come, one step closer to banning medically unnecessary procedures for pets. It's one of the lesser-known details of Monday's spring justice bill, when advocates expect real change. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Time now to recap our top stories. Days after 31-year-old Anthony Falusa was released from custody, charged with manslaughter in an infant death case, 26-year-old Morgan Krause has also been granted bail. Krause is accused of failing to provide the necessities of life following the death of a 4-month-old baby 2 years ago in Innisfil. Environment Canada saying the sunshine and warm temperatures will stick around. However, splash pads at Heritage Park and Lantman Lean Park in Barrie are closed for repairs until further notice. The weather, however, is not been ideal for farmers who are now just starting to see the fields. And Tuesday was one of the last big tests for Coast Guard's search and rescue crews. They'll be deployed to the Arctic. A total of 49 personnel from the Coast Guard, Canadian Air Force, Parry Sound Paramedics, and Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Trenton are teaming up and responding to simulated emergencies. The province unveiled the spring justice bill on Monday, and that proposes a ban on medically unnecessary procedures on cats and dogs. Now, we spoke about how Ontarians could have their say here on CTV Barrie back in January, and now some seemingly tangible results. Joining us now to discuss what's next from Animal Justice is Government and Legislative Affairs Counsel Pierre Sadek. Thanks for making the time, Pierre.
Good to join you this evening, Sarah.
Now, with this bill, can you explain what would be considered medically unnecessary procedures for animals?
Yeah, so this bill proposes to prohibit medically unnecessary procedures. These are cosmetic surgeries on dogs and cats that have been historically performed, mostly long ago. Not too much these days anymore, except it seems in Ontario. These surgeries would be prohibited unless, of course, it's for the health of the animal. So let's say an animal, a dog is born with deformed ears and needs some surgery to straighten out the ears. That could, of course, still be done. But what would now be prohibited is, number one, perhaps one of the most notorious types of cosmetic surgery, the declawing of cats. That's the cutting of a cat's digit or a finger at the first knuckle. No longer will be allowed in Ontario. Secondly, ear cropping was typically done to dogs, cutting off part of the ear of each ear of a dog to get a certain look. And then third in the ban is devocalization, or perhaps more commonly known as debarking, which is removing the dog's vocal cords so that they can't bark anymore. Now, what's still allowed, even though it's not allowed in any other province in Canada, but would still be allowed in Ontario under this new regulation, is tail docking. That's something typically done to certain breeds of dogs in the past, terriers, boxers, puppies. It's done when the dogs are young. Puppies have their tails sliced off for purely cosmetic reasons. And this is still allowed, going to be allowed.
Do you know, are there any organizations that are rallying to keep the option open to pet owners?
Well, you got to wonder why, but yes, some fussy dog breeders want to be able to have the ability to continue to tweak the looks of their dogs in a way that, you know, was standard centuries ago, a couple of centuries ago, but really is not considered necessary these days anymore. And so, unfortunately, the government, someone in the government, some folks in the government caved to these special dog breeder interests. And it's a shame because, as we all know, our dogs use their tails, the wagging of their tails, to communicate. They communicate with us that way. They communicate with other dogs. Can't do that when they've had their tail sliced off, often as puppies.
But don't want to run out of time here up here, because I think the big question is, these details came out yesterday, but when can we expect some tangible change?
Well, I think it's going to happen sometime this year. I'm hoping actually not too soon, because that would give people in Ontario who don't want to see dogs have their tails sliced off an opportunity to contact the government, and in fact even contact the Premier and let him know that, like in every other province, tail docking should be included. This government, in particular, this Premier, listens to dog and cat lovers. I mean, Premier Ford recently banned painful dog and cat research experiments, including toxic chemical testing in Ontario. And I think if he hears from Ontarians, and apparently his email and maybe even his phone cell number is out there, contact him and tell him you want tail docking included in these fantastic regulations.
Okay. We will leave it there for today. I've been speaking with Pierre Sadik from Animal Justice, Government and Legislative Affairs Council. Thanks so much, Pierre.
My pleasure.
And now turning to our markets, trading resumed today following Monday's holiday in the U.S. and stocks are catching up as President Donald Trump says negotiations are proceeding with Iran. Here's how our numbers fared. The TSX was down 122 points, the Dow was down 118, and the Nasdaq was up 312. And commodities, oil was down, closing at $93.89 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,502 an ounce, and our dollar was down, ending the day at 72.40 cents U.S. New data from Equifax Canada shows insolvency volumes have reached their highest levels since 2009. Homeowner insolvencies rose more than 11% compared to late 2025, and total consumer debt hit $2.66 trillion, up 4% from a year ago. Missed mortgage payments also jumped across the country, including a 52% spike in Ontario, and about 1.5 million Canadians missed at least one credit payment in the first 3 months of this year. Tim Hortons, meanwhile, says it wants to hire more Canadians. The company announcing it's dialing back the use of the temporary foreign worker program just days after the restaurant announced plans to expand, adding 80 new storefronts across the country. A statement from Tim Hortons says the company will also stop lobbying the federal government to expand the temporary foreign workers program amid high rates of youth unemployment. And tickets for the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy went on sale today as the race heads north of Toronto for the very first time.
Markham, start your engines. The Indy race is coming to our city.
Markham Mayor Frank Scarpitti made the announcement last September that the Roar on the Lakeshore would be moving to his city this summer. This comes after Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow stated it wouldn't be possible for Toronto to host both the FIFA World Cup and the Indy on the exhibition grounds this summer, but the city intends to have the race return in the future. The Indy in Markham will run from August 14th to the 16th. Still to come, a surprise collaboration. We'll bring you the story of a Canadian performer who wrote a song that will now be a part of the World Cup festivities. Details next. Here's a look at your Tuesday night primetime lineup. Framed for Murder, a fixer-upper story starts at 8, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Welcome back. Justin Bieber broke his own record at this year's American Music Awards when he won the Best Male Pop Artist Award for a 5th time.
In the city, remember you used to drive a Yukon. I pick up on
Bieber first won the award 16 years ago. Other winners last night were BTS, who were named Artist of the Year, and Sabrina Carpenter, who won Album of the Year. Now, for one Canadian singer, the World Cup is turning out to be a dream come true. CTV's Andrea Case has more on his connection to one of the biggest sporting events in the world.
Haitian-born, American-raised Wyclef Jean has been a part of 2 FIFA World Cup songs with 2 different collaborators.
Once we set that goal, you know we gonna score. Here we go.
Now he can add a 3rd to his resume thanks to Canadian folk singer I. The 2 recently collaborated on I's new song, Chosen.
'Cause you're chosen, you live up to the mark.
We got a song coming out with Wyclef Jean of the Fugees, one of my favorite artists of all time. So we wrote it for the World Cup. I mean, I wrote the song. He loved it so much, and he got on it. He produced it, did a verse on it, and I'm super excited about that song coming out.
Yo, listen, young man. I've been coming to Toronto before you was born.
Speaking to Jean on the phone from Brazil, the 2 celebrated the release of the song and Spotify's addition of it to their playlist and their plans to reunite here. I is a lifelong football fan from Brampton, or as he calls it, Canada's Soccer City. Now the married father of 5 has sons of his own playing the beautiful game. The 2-time Juno nominee wrote Chosen not knowing it would not only catch the attention of the 3-time Grammy winner, and now it has been added to the lineup at Toronto's FIFA Fan Festival.
I used to coach soccer with my kids. I played soccer for a long time with some incredible players. Some of them played on the Canadian national team. And I wanted to write an anthem for the World Cup, something that inspired me, that inspired my children. And it's just a song, it's an inspirational song about being chosen, choosing yourself. Whatever goes against you, you just keep going, fighting through it. You are chosen, right?
It's been an emotional journey for I, and now Wyclef Jean will be coming to Toronto, and together they will perform Chosen at Toronto's Fan Fest on June 11th. And other plans for the song are in the works. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Case, only a few minutes left in this newscast, but I understand your evening far from done. Where are you off to?
Far from done indeed. The clouds are rolling in, but just clouds, and it's going to give a little cloud canopy to the baseball game. There's a new league starting up, women-only league, and it's called Dirt in the Skirt, and it's in Springwater, actually, Springwater, of the nursery park up there. And I'm heading up to do a little shoot up there, so I can't wait to do that. So yeah, it's nice to enjoy a little baseball this evening. Let's take a look and see what we have first thing tomorrow morning to enjoy. How about a little sunshine in Barrie, Newmarket, Gravenhurst? Looks like 12, 14, and 12 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. Have yourself a fantastic evening. Batter up, Sarah.
Dirt in the Skirt. Love that one. Thanks so much to everyone at home for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm Sarah Freemark. As I mentioned, it's wonderful to be back with you. Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Looking forward to joining you once again tomorrow. See you then.